Yo, Kippy Sky here. What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 3 of spending 2 weeks with the Sony SSC system. Now, if you haven't watched the first 2 parts, part 1 was the unboxing and initial review, the overview, checking out the specs. Part 2 was the movie demo. We did 2 different movie demos and gave a little assessment at the end. And part 3 is going to be about music. So this is my favorite part of these spending 2 weeks videos because this really shows, for me, what speakers are good and what speakers are not. So in this system, we had about 7 different Sony speakers, but we're gonna focus on 2. I've removed all the speakers out of the equation except the front left and the front right tower speaker. I really wanna hear what these can do, but we're gonna do something different for this part. Usually I just focus on the 2 front speakers, but we're also gonna do the same thing with the Bookshelves. A lot of you guys have told me that the Bookshelf speakers are probably the best speakers out of all of them. So here in this demo, I'm gonna give you 2 different reviews. One will be of the floor standing speakers, and then the other ones will be of the Bookshelves. I put some music compilations together for you guys. They are non-copyright music, so I can make a paycheck, but they should give a really good representation of what these can and cannot do. So at the end of the video, I'll let you know my thoughts. We'll see you at the end.
Certain the path laid before me was right. Like a bird, been chasing the waves of the world. So tell me where we go from here. Tell me where we go from here. I could feel it in my bones. There was something going on. I checked out, hanging around, got old. 'Cause darling, there was nothing right. All you seem to do is lie. Those days are gone. I'm walking tall while you're alone. When I think about the way we used to be, when I think about the things you took from me, I know that I am so much better and better.
All right, guys, that's the music demo of both the tower speakers and the Bookshelf speakers. Remember, part 4 is going to be the overall thoughts of the system in general, so I'll keep this portion short. Let's start off with the tower speakers because that's what we heard first. I'm gonna start with the bad of the tower speakers. Now, we have to remember these speakers are priced at just over $100 per speaker. So 200 bucks, we'll call it a 200 buck speaker. So keep that in mind when we're talking about these speakers. I really was surprised by the sound in a negative light, because that front port there is there because you don't want to have any boundary gain. You want to be able to push this as close to the wall as you can, because you don't care about aesthetics. If you're buying these speakers, you don't care about acoustics necessarily. You just want pretty quality speakers. So they put the port on the front so that you can push them to the back of the wall without muddying the sound or anything like that. But I still got that sound quality from these speakers. It still sounded kind of muddy, especially with jazz. Anything that had like a bass guitar in it, anything that had like a hip-hop beat, R&B kind of sound, it sounded very muddy. And it kind of offended me, only because you have all these drivers, crossovers built inside, and you still got a pretty negative sound. Now, I will say it plays pretty loud. I like that you can pump a lot of power to the speaker, and it'll take it. Being a 6 ohm speaker, 145 watts, it likes the power. So I gave it all that I could, and it got pretty loud, but the sound that came out of it was not very pleasing to my ears, to be personal. But I do like a little bit of qualities of it. It does have a really good mid-range present. It can sound muddy with the wrong music, but it does sound present and it's there, and that's what I appreciate with it. Because it does sound muddy, sometimes the vocals can get lost in the action. Sometimes you're missing them. Sometimes you're turning the volume up to hear the voices, but you're only turning up everything else. So sometimes you can pick the wrong song. I will say that for sure. Now let's switch over to the Bookshelf speakers, because this is what I was really hoping I really wanted to get my hands on these. A lot of the comment sections in some of my videos said that the Bookshelves are the better speaker out of the whole system. And so I was super eager to hear these. And I'm gonna have to agree, after playing both together, I really think that the Bookshelves shine in comparison to the two. Honestly, I would probably buy the Bookshelves, get all Bookshelves system. If you're buying the system, go all Bookshelves, because they sound better than the tower speakers do. The tower speakers leave things to be desired, but the Bookshelves sound a little bit better. And I imagine it's because it's a third of the tower size. My biggest complaint with the towers was that it sounded too muddy, too boxy, too bloated, and being half the size or a third of the size of the towers, the Bookshelves are, they sounded a lot more clear because there's a lot less resonant frequency inside that cabinet coming through to our ears. And so I really like the Bookshelves better. The vocals are a little more present. Bass is still there, and surprisingly, the Bookshelves keep up with the tower speakers with mid-range bass. It sounds a little bit better, and it's still really present. So I was very impressed with that. So like I said, I would go a whole Bookshelf system. If you're looking at the Sony system, skip the tower speakers and go straight to all Bookshelves. I promise you it'll give you a better sound. You won't compromise on volume because they still get very loud, but you'll get a cleaner, more present sound that sounds a little bit better throughout more genres than just a couple. So that's my biggest complaint with the towers. They're very one-notey. But the Bookshelf speakers, if with the right EQ and the right time, with a little bit of room treatment, you can get a pretty decent sound. And again, these Bookshelf speakers are under $100, at least when I bought them, and that's for the pair. So you can get a banging sound system. I think that the Bookshelves are a better value for the money. So go with that route. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. We'll give our full review of the whole system in part 4. If you missed part 1, that was our unboxing and overview. Part 2 was our movie demo. And then, of course, we're here today with the music demo. Leave me a comment down below and let me know, have you heard this system before, and what were your thoughts for music and movies? Let me know down below in the comment section. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already. We will see you in the next video. K-Play Sky out. Peace.